Welcome to Beyond the Clinic, the podcast for health professionals ready to transform their expertise into innovative income streams that extend beyond the traditional clinic model. I'm Sarah Armand-Bushell. I'm a registered dietitian and certified business coach and proud owner of 2 successful online businesses. I understand the leap from the security of a regular salary can feel intimidating because I've been there too. But it doesn't have to be scary, and you do not have to do this alone. Here you'll learn tangible strategies to accelerate your business growth. So if you're dreaming of using your expertise to create impact and a life of freedom, then you're in the right place. Did you know the way that people are finding dietitians like you online has massively changed over the last year or so? When someone is looking for support with, say, their IBS or their PCOS or their child's fussy eating or whatever health condition they're navigating, people aren't always opening Google, clicking through 10 different websites and comparing options like they used to. Instead, people are asking questions like, who's the best IBS dietitian near me? Or who can help my child with fussy eating? Can you recommend a dietitian for PCOS? And the AI overviews are answering, and people are trusting the answers it gives. AI will give them a shortlist, maybe 3 or 4 names of people it considers best to support them, which raises a really important question. If someone asked Google Gemini or ChatGPT or any other AI tool for a dietitian like you, would it actually know that you exist? You could be an incredible clinician, have years of experience under your belt, tons of client results, a clear niche that not many people specialize in, but if AI can't clearly understand who you are and who you help and why you're the right person, it might never put your name forward. One of my dietitian clients and I actually tested this on one of our coaching calls. She searched who is the best children's allergy dietitian in the UK and looked at the Gemini AI overview. And despite her being a really well-known specialist in exactly that area, she wasn't mentioned at all. She was genuinely shocked, but it was a really important reminder that being brilliant at what you do doesn't automatically mean that AI knows to recommend you. So in today's episode, I'm going to explain what we currently know in the marketing world to make AI more likely to recommend you step by step, from the changes to make on your website, to the information you need to have in the right places online, to the really simple things that you can do today that will make a big difference. Now, it's fair to say that this is a well-educated speculation because nothing definitive yet has been published by the AI companies. But the big gurus in this world are conducting their own experiments and reporting back. And actually, when I've tried what's been suggested, it does work. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, this sounds interesting, but is this really something I need to worry about right now? And you know what? The honest answer is yes, because this shift in how people are finding and choosing nutrition professionals online is already happening right now. For years, the only advice was to get your website ranking on Google, write SEO-optimized blogs and use well-placed keywords, create content that people loved and wanted to share, and drive more and more people back to your website. And that made total sense when Google was mainly a list of links and people did the searching themselves. But we are moving into a world where AI is increasingly doing that research for people, summarizing the information and saying, here's who could help you. Now, another reason it's important to pay attention to this right now is because AI tends to keep recommending the people that it already has the confidence in. If AI already understands who you are, what you specialize in, and why you're credible, it will keep recommending you. So I'd really recommend investing a little time into this now rather than trying to play catch up later. Now for some good news. All of this has absolutely nothing to do with who can shout the loudest online, who has the biggest following, or who is posting the most content. Hallelujah. The things that help AI understand and recommend who you actually are the things that already make you a great clinician. It's about being clear about who specifically you help. It's about showing evidence of your expertise. It's about building trust and having consistent information about your work. And this is why I think dietitians and registered healthcare professionals are actually in a really strong position here, because really, this is much less about marketing yourself and much more about making sure that your genuine expertise is just clear and obvious and easy to understand. So the big question is, how does AI actually decide who to recommend? Well, from what we understand, AI is basically asking 6 questions about you before it feels confident to recommend you. The first question it's asking is, do I actually understand who this person is and what they specialize in? Basically, does AI get a really consistent and clear picture of you? Your name, your job title, your niche, who you help, and where you work. This needs to match across your website, your Google business profile, LinkedIn, any directories you're on, Instagram, and actually anywhere you've got a public profile. Because if social media says that you're a children's dietitian specializing in fussy eating, but your website says pediatric nutrition support and your Bupa directory listing says dietitian, AI is really going to struggle to understand exactly what you do and who you help, and a confused AI is much less likely to recommend you. The second question is, can I see evidence that other people trust this person? It's looking for things like client reviews and case studies. And these can be ones that you publish yourself. It's looking for podcasts where you've been featured. It's looking for press mentions and being listed in credible directories. All of these help build that picture that you are a credible expert. The third question AI is asking is, does this person actually answer the questions that people are asking? The closer your content is to the real questions that someone is asking the bots, the easier it is for AI to recognize that you're the person who can help. So when you're writing your website copy or blog posts, think, what is my ideal client actually worried about? What are they asking me, or what are they typing into AI? It also really helps if your website uses the exact words and phrases that your ideal clients are actually using. The fourth question AI is asking is, does this look like an active, up-to-date business? If you've got a website that hasn't been touched since 2019 or has broken links or outdated information, it's going to make it much harder for the AI to feel confident in recommending you. It doesn't mean that you need to constantly be tweaking your site. It just means that your online presence shouldn't look abandoned. It needs to be kept up to date. So if your website hasn't had any TLC in a little while, then go and give it some. Now, the fifth question it's asking is, where does this person provide their services? It helps to give AI some explicit information about your location across your online presence. You can mention your city or the areas that you work on your website, in your footer, on your contact page, and you can also mention this on your Google business profile. Now, what if you work 100% online? Well, it's still useful to have a clear location attached to your business rather than leaving AI to guess where you're based or who you serve. It's just something that the AI likes at the moment. And the sixth question AI is asking is this person safe and trustworthy to recommend? AI is looking for signs that you are a legitimate healthcare professional. It's going to be looking out for things like clear contact details, your professional credentials, consistent information about your qualifications, and no exaggerated promises. So make sure that your professional details are consistent across your website and your social media and your professional directories, your Google business profile again, the HCPC register. If anyone is still using their maiden name, might be time to change it. And of course, any other places where you're listed online. So now we know what AI is looking for. Let's get it practical now. I'm going to take you through some really specific steps that you can start taking today so that AI has got the right information to be able to start recommending you. So step one is just to make it ridiculously obvious who you are and who you help. So the first thing I want you to do to get really clear on this is just write out one simple sentence that describes who you help and with what problem. A simple template that you can follow is your name is a, and then insert your role, helping, and then insert your specific audience, and then with, and then you insert the specific problem they've got, in, and then your location or online. And then use that one-liner or a version of it consistently across your online presence. So put it on your homepage and then mirror that information across your about page, your contact page, your footer, again, your Google business profile and any other profiles where you're listed. And equally as importantly, pick one clear professional title and stick with it. If you're a registered dietitian, don't call yourself a dietitian in one place and a nutritionist in another and a gut health nutrition expert somewhere else. You want AI to see the same clear picture of who you are, what you do, and who you help wherever it finds details about you. Okay, step 2. Make your website ridiculously easy for AI to understand. Think of a tidy filing cabinet rather than a messy junk drawer. When AI lands on your website, you want it to be able to quickly scan the page and understand exactly what it's looking at. So start with a really clear H1 heading that tells the AI, and actually any humans who land there, what this page is about. For instance, the service, who it's for, and where relevant, the location. And then structure the rest of that page with clear H2 headings and sections that answer the obvious questions that somebody would have. Who is this for? How does it work? What can I expect? How much does it cost? And all of those FAQs that people might ask. It's also useful to add a few client results or short case studies to prove that your clients get the outcomes that you say you can help them achieve. And don't overlook the boring but important bits too. Make sure your page title and your meta description really clearly describes what's on the page as well. And if I'm saying this and H1s and H2s and meta descriptions all sounds a bit like gobbledygook, come and talk to me because this is just the foundations of a digital presence. Step 3, let's give AI some proof that you are the real deal. So this is all about what exists outside of your own website that backs up what you're saying about yourself. Because it's one thing for you to say I'm an expert in IBS, but it's another thing for the AI to find lots of other credible places that confirm that. So first, make sure that you've claimed and properly completed your Google business profile, and if relevant, your Apple Business Connect and Bing places too. And then look at where you're listed elsewhere online. You do not need to be in every directory under the sun, but you just want to be properly listed in a handful of relevant and credible places, like the BDA Freelance Dietitians Directory. This one carries quite a bit of weight because every listing is HCPC registered, of course, and a BDA member. Plus, you can also make your specialism really clear here as well. Then there's places like Nutritionist Resource. Now, this one's got specific categories for things like ARFID or fertility nutrition, so you can talk about what you specialize in. And it also checks practitioners' credentials before listing them, which signals to AI that you're qualified and safe to be recommended. If you are an AFN registered nutritionist, then the Association for Nutrition is another really credible place where AI can verify your professional status. And of course, we can't forget your HCPC registration. Make sure your professional details are easy to find and crucially match the information that you're using everywhere else online. And then think about any specialist organizations that are relevant to your niche. If you're an IBS dietitian, for example, it could be something like the Monash directory. If you specialize in pediatric feeding, it could be the SOS directory. If you're a sports dietitian, there's the CENR. Then also try and get some client reviews. So when asking for reviews, make sure to always ask, what did you come to me for? What changed? And how do you feel now? That way, the review naturally explains the problem that you helped with and the outcome that they experienced, rather than just saying, oh yeah, she was really useful and knew her stuff. If you've got capacity, it's a really great idea to try and explore other opportunities like being a guest on someone else's podcast or being featured in the local or national press. Okay, moving on to step 4, give the AI the answers that it's looking for. The easiest way to do this is to have an FAQ page on your website. Make a list of 5 to 10 of the top questions that people tend to ask you before working with you, and then just answer them simply and clearly in a way that AI can easily understand and pick up and use when someone asks it a similar question. Think of sort of clinical questions or nutrition questions here, rather than administrative ones like when are your appointment times or how much do you charge. Also, make sure that you've got a clear services page for the things that you actually want to be found for. If you're a local dietitian, it could be a page like IBS Dietitian in Bristol. If you work online, it could be online IBS Dietitian. As we've said, you can also use case studies to show AI the kind of people you actually help. Keep them short, keep them specific. So talk about what the client came to you with and what support you provided, but crucially, what changed for them. And remember, keeping everything in your client's words and language is super key here, rather than filling your website with clinical jargon. Step 5, stay recommended. AI search changes so quickly, so you want to check in every now and again to see whether it actually still knows who you are. I'd recommend maybe once a month doing 10 searches that your ideal client might make, such as who's the best IBS dietitian in Bristol, pediatric dietitian for fussy eating, or online dietitian for PCOS. Think of a variety of different things that people might be typing into the AI tools. Try lots of variations and keep a record of whether you're being mentioned or who's been recommended instead. And also, when you get a new inquiry, it's worth asking, how did you find out about me? Because if someone says ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or another AI tool, make a note of that. And remember, you do not need to do all of this overnight. Break it down. Here's a bit of a suggestion for a doable work plan. So in the next month or so, I would maybe think about getting my online information consistent. So update that Google business profile. Make sure your key services page is really clear. Then maybe in month 2, focus on your FAQs and a couple of really useful case studies that you might want to put on your website. And then by 90 days, you could look at relevant directories and professional listings, update them, and then make a forward plan to get some more credible mentions, like being featured in the press or a podcast interview, or even a feature on another trusted website. It's totally okay to build this one piece at a time. But if you want to do something with this episode straight away, give yourself an hour and make these really quick 4 changes. Number 1, fix your homepage hero section. That's the bit people see when they land on your website before they start to scroll. Make sure it clearly says who you are and who you help, and if relevant, where you work. Number 2, check your contact details. Add your full name, your HCPC number, and a link to the register. Your location, if it's relevant, and your phone number to the footer and the contact page, and make sure that they match everywhere else that you're listed. Number 3, add 5 FAQs. Think of the 5 most recently asked questions that your clients or your potential clients genuinely ask you about your speciality, and then just add a quick, simple answer to each. And then number 4, have a look at that Google business profile. Give it a bit of a refresh. Check your services and your opening hours and description are still up to date, and add some recent photos if they're still looking a little 2021. And then that's it. You don't need to rebuild your entire website today. Just spend an hour or so making it easier for AI to understand exactly who you are, what you do, and who you help. Now, last thing, why not run a little test? So this week, have a think about 3 questions that somebody might type into ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude when they're looking for somebody like you, and put those questions in and just see what comes back. Are you being recommended? If not, who's been recommended instead? And what do those people seem to have online that you might be missing? I'd love for you to let me know what your results are. You can DM me a screenshot of what you find. You might be pleasantly surprised by what comes up, or you might discover that AI has absolutely no idea that you exist yet. Either way, you'll know where you stand, and that's a really useful place to start. Now, join me next week when I'm going to be talking about why blogging isn't working like it used to. We're not getting the clicks that we used to get, and I'm going to be diving into exactly what's going on. See you then. Bye for now. That's it for another week. Thank you so much for joining me as we explore the abundance of strategies to help you recapture that feeling of possibility and excitement as you drive your business forwards and beyond the clinic room. If you found today's episode inspirational, then don't forget to like and subscribe to the show to stay in the loop for more valuable advice that I'm going to be sharing each week. If you want to be the first to hear about new episode releases, news and ways that I can support your business growth, then please don't forget to check out the links in the show notes, and you can also connect with me from there. Don't keep me a secret. I would be delighted if you left a review and shared this podcast with your colleagues. Until next time, bye for now.